Like I like feet.
That's a kink. That's a proclivity.
Okay.
We're getting into the weeds of definitions.
$10.
Now.
All right,
The bigger the word you use to describe it, the less horny it is.
That's facts. I like that. Yeah, I don't have kinks. I got proclivities, you
Yeah.
dumb motherfucker. You don't even know what that word is. End of discussion. That's fire. I'm calling my shit proclivities from now on.
Yeah.
Cop out.
Can you call cheating a proclivity? Like,
Oh yeah, it's
Baby.
Yeah.
This is a proclivity.
it's a proclivity of mine. What are you upset about?
All right, welcome back to Nanodosing. It's Tuesday. It's God knows what date it is. What's the date today? April 25th.
Fifth.
That's my guess. Nailed it. Still got it. I'm honestly like I've forgotten what day of the week it is like 6 times in the past week. So I fucking nailed that one. I'm back. I'm totally back. But yeah, I'm calling in on Discord right now. The rest of the guys are in the studio minus Arian, who's also remote. And so just want to tap in real quick and talk to you guys. It's nice to see all your faces.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. Great to see you. Good to see you in good spirits. Man, what kind of truck are you in?
I'm driving a Penske truck right now. Got some shit that I got to move. So my last couple of days have been filled with moving things, putting them in boxes, moving those boxes. And I packed up this really nice piece of like ancient Chinese artwork that is apparently exceedingly rare. And so it's like worth saving big time. So I had to figure out a way to pack that and store it because it's like an 11 by 8 foot cave rubbing of like a thousands of year old cave. I don't know what you even call it. It was like carved into the side of a cave in rural China.
Whoa.
And my grandfather got a rubbing of it when he was over there, when he was working as a missionary. And so he brought it back, and it's this massive, massive piece of art. And it's like one of only 2 in the world. So I'm like, I got to hang on to this. So we had to figure out a way to store it and then to get in a place where it's safe until I moved to Chicago. So that's been an extra nice little project that we've had here.
That's fire.
I did want to ask you about the mastodon tooth.
Yeah.
With the inscriptions. That looks awesome.
Yeah. So if anybody out there isn't familiar, so my dad passed away kind of unexpectedly last week on the exact day that him and my mom were supposed to move out of their place. So it's been complicated, and part of some of that is going through all their stuff and figuring out what needs to be stored, what needs to be kept, what needs to be thrown away. And I'd seen some of these things before, but they've got a mastodon or a mammoth molar. I'm not sure which one it is. But it's like a molar from the back. It's huge. It's this huge thing. And then they've got a tusk from a mastodon or from a mammoth. And then there's another bone that looks like it's an antler. It might have been made out of some sort of antler, but it's got these like ancient carvings in it of a language that doesn't exist right now. So it could be. I'm hearing that it's an oracle bone, where like you write all these symbols for different things that can happen to you in your life, or different things that are living in your environment, and then you heat it up real bad, and then where the bone cracks, that tells you your fortune. So if there's a deer symbol on there, and the bone cracks on the deer symbol, it means that you're about to go like have a successful hunt or something like that. So it kind of rocks. It's kind of metal.
Ancient hunting magic. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah, it is cool.
I had to drive cross country in a truck once. I fucking hated that shit, dog. This dude, stupid story. This dude, I had bought a whole bunch of like music gear, and I was like, hey, we all gonna rock together and we're gonna make music together. And he was like, cool. And then like a year went by, and he slowly started selling my shit. And then he was like, yeah, you really haven't been paying me for the music. I've been mixing. I was like, bro, we had not talked about any of that shit. He's like, well, I just want to be paid for my. I was like, I always pay everybody for their work, bro. And then he was like, well, this is my stuff now. I'm like, what? It's not. It's definitely not. So I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'll write you a check. Because it was like a lot of guys. Like, I'll write you a check like 20 grand, and I'm just gonna come pick my stuff up. And he was like, okay, that's fair. And I said, bet. So I went to drive across country in a truck. Well, I flew there and I drove back. So I had to gather all this stuff. I got all this stuff, and then I left. And he was like, hey, so how we gonna do the check? I said, bro, suck my dick. I ain't giving you shit. It's my shit, bro. What are you talking about?
What kind of stuff was
It was like a lot of gear, like it was like mixing gear, mastering gear, like studio stuff, right? Because I was like cutting records in studio, like with drums and the horns and all that shit. I did way too much, but I just enjoyed the process, and that's we were all kind of like learning how to do this shit on our own. I believe in like cultivating that kind of feel with each other, and then time got hard and he started like he started selling the shit, and I was like, fam, like. We never talked about that. We never talked about payment for you mixing shit. This is just we just loved doing it. I never was put you on salary or anything like that. And so I had to undercut it. I mean, he was like, I'm gonna get lawyers involved. I was like, bro, fuck you and them lawyers. It's my shit. What are you talking about?
Before you finish that story, I was like, that does not sound like something you would do at all.
Like what?
That you were gonna pay him twice.
Yeah.
Oh fuck no.
I was like, what?
Because he was just like, yo, I can't give it back. So I didn't want to. What I didn't want to do was get physical, because then that's when real legal trouble gets. When he'll sue, and she type, Karen type can't sue. And so I was like, okay, let's just, what I'm saying. He's not very business savvy, so I was like, let's just, part ways, and I'll give you money. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. So I packed all the stuff, and he's like, hey man, so how you want to do it? My dick, get the fuck out of here, bro. Paying you for my shit. What I look like?
Yeah, you gotta be careful with fights, because if Billy gets into a fight, he's a trained weapon, and so he could go to jail for a long time if he gets caught throwing hands at somebody. I'm sure with your jiu-jitsu training, it's probably similar.
Well, my boxing license is up.
My
license is expired, so these are no longer weapons. So
Billy's ready to fight.
No, not
on site. See him?
No.
If you see Billy in the club, go and get after him.
Big Cat tried to do this once. No, that technically I think that's like a legal thing. You can't do that.
No, definitely nobody out there try to fight Billy. Definitely don't try to fight Billy.
You know what I was thinking about doing? Do you think you could live out of one of those trucks, 50? Like just enough space?
Sure.
I could do.
There's a lot of room in there.
It's probably bigger than my apartment.
I was thinking about I got a truck. I might put a caravan on the back of it and just live out of that.
That's a good idea. When I was in high school, I always had the idea to rent one of these trucks and then put like a couple couches in there and get some tunes going and just park it somewhere secluded and just drink some beers in it.
Yeah.
That'd be lit.
You think you could fit a queen bed in there?
Yeah. Yeah, you could fit a queen. It's queenable.
I'm going to look into that.
I might go vanning. My lease is up soon. Just move into a caravan, just rock there with my dog, like pay way less rent, just gas.
He's going to be extra late now.
I'll just park outside the office.
You're never going to find parking, dog.
Oh, I mean, if you live in a truck, the traffic excuses Billy will come up with will be just insane.
Flat tires, the maintenance, nah.
Or maybe I'll get like a Starlink and I'll just broadcast from there. And just
turning into a pikey is like you're like a guy in the movie Snatch.
What, like a gypsy?
Yeah, you want to become a gypsy. I think in your wildest dreams you want to get gypped out.
Whoa! Come on, you can't drop that.
Yeah, I heard that's problematic.
That's a very problematic word, bro.
So I had an interesting experience over the last couple of days. I want to share you guys about it, and then I got to get going because I'm doing like nonstop errands right now. But I wanted to drop in, say hi, and say what's up to the listeners. Appreciate every nice thing that everybody said, more than you guys will ever know. It was a big help to me as I was going through some tough times. But I had something interesting happen. So in the process of cleaning up after a parent who has passed away, you have to go through all their stuff, right? So I went through my dad's room and was separating what I wanted to keep, stuff to donate, stuff to throw away, it's a tough job to do. And I was digging through his drawers, right? Got to get into the backs of every single drawer that he's got. And one of the low ones, I pull out this old box, and the box has just a shitload of dust in it. Obviously hasn't been touched in what I would imagine probably like 30 years minimum, maybe more than 30 years. So I open it up. It's got some old ass coins in there from like the 60s, whatever. And there's a plastic bag in that box as well. The plastic bag is airtight. It's still got like the bubble. It's tied up on itself. And inside that plastic bag is about a third of a joint. So he had smoked 2/3 of the joint, and there was one left over. I never knew my dad to smoke weed. He told me that he smoked pot back in the day. This is actually a funny story. He told me when I was growing up, and I asked him, like, you ever smoke weed, Dad? He was like, I did for a month, and then I quit because it was too expensive. And I think what he was doing was he was just like smoking weed every day. He was like trying it out, but he was just getting high every day out of nowhere for a month. And then he was like, it's too expensive. I don't want to do this. It's like, yeah, no shit, Dad. It's because you smoke every day. Just be normal with it. But I've never known him to be a pothead. I even offered to try to get him some weed because he had a bad back for a really long time. So I thought that might calm his nerves. He might be able to use it medicinally. And he always.
I lost him.
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, damn. What a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I'm sure he'll come back. It'll come back on. Interestingly enough, I found out my dad was a pothead. No, he was a pothead. He used to sell weed in college. He used to sell weed. They called him Bo. So all his friends, like when he get together with all his homies, they call him Bo. And I was like, why they call him? That's my mom. Why they call him Bo? They said because he always had what they call Colombian weed, and so they always just call him Bo because they always had Colombian weed on him.
Like Bo.
Yeah, Bo. Yeah, the Bo. That's what they called it.
Huh. I once found a joint in a book in a bookcase. I was like looking at all these old books, and then I found a travel guide to like Germany, and I opened it, and there was a joint in it, and I was like, "Who the fuck's joint is this?" And turns out it was my dad's book.
Where were you?
Actually, craziest part, I was in an airport. I got it through security in the book. I have a picture.
Oh, it was
in the book.
Dad's book. And he snuck. That's what's up, actually. New smuggling way to get some drugs across security. Put it in a book.
He was I was studying abroad, and I had the book, and I was gonna read it on my way there, and open the book in the airport and realizing I'm in Europe too, so like weed is like not legal at all. I open it up and I'm like, holy shit, there's a like a joint in here, and it was basically his from like the 70s.
Wait, I don't know about everywhere in Europe, but I know like Amsterdam you can smoke weed wherever you want.
But not like Germany.
Is the rest of Europe that they crack down on that?
I guess not Spain, but like it's like illegal still. It's like, let me find this picture because it's literally just a joint.
All right, he's back.
Joint in the book. Oh, hey, PFD.
All right.
We lost you. We lost you at tried to get your dad weed medicinally for his back.
Okay. So I tried to get my dad weed medicinally for his back because he had real bad back issues for a really long time. And he always said that he wouldn't do it. So I've never known him in my entire life to smoke weed. He didn't. But I guess he had some back in like the 60s or 70s or whatever. So I'm going through his shit. I find this joint, and my brother was there helping me unpack everything and get shit sorted out. And I was like, we should smoke this. We should smoke this joint. So last night went back over to his place. It's almost all cleared out. Just set up some chairs in the living room, and we smoked my dad's joint. We smoked the rest of it, the last third. And let me tell you, he had some gas. It was pretty good weed, especially considering it's probably from the 70s. Like it was good stuff. And so we sat around, got high, just talked. Had a lot of good conversations. It was a cool thing to do. So I'm glad I got to do that. At least there's like a little bit of fun stuff that I've been able to get into over the course of the last week. But it's kind of weird to do that, to be like, oh shit, I'm smoking the same weed that my dad smoked when he was probably about my age, maybe a little bit younger.
What an amazing symbolic way to kind of like send it off. That's actually really dope, man. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to do it. So that's been really the best part of my week, was smoking my dad's weed. I bet you he definitely forgot it was in there. And if he had known it was in there, he probably wouldn't have wanted me to. He would have let me find it, because he was all about like being a good role model, all that stuff. But glad that I got to do it for sure.
Was it cool getting around your family and stuff? Just seeing everybody and.
Yeah, it's good and it's bad. There's a lot of emotions. There's just so much stuff that has to happen when a parent dies that you don't even really think about. There's just documents you got to sign. There's a lot of just administrative shit you got to take care of, and then there's also the added bonus of it happening right in the middle of their move, which really complicated everything. But yeah, it's been a combination of making sure all the trains are running on time, making sure that my mom's doing all right, and then also like having to set aside some time to just be sad for a while, which is probably important, because if I didn't do that, then I just block it out and I just handle the move and all that stuff. And then 6, 8 months, a year later, it would just start to come out in different ways. So it's I think I'm handling it in a healthy way, but who knows? I'm sure that there's there are waves that are going to come and go. So it sucks, but it's been easier because family's around.
Absolutely, man. It's anytime anybody goes through it that I love, man. I always tell them, like, there's no right or wrong way to grieve. Like it's all contingent on how you feel. Take your time. I always tell people to take your time, man, because this life shit is weird, man. So, good on you for being able to compartmentalize it as best you can, brother. Much love from us to you always, fam.
You know what else I found out about my dad? And I only hear stuff like this from his friends. He never once talked about his athletic career to me and said anything impressive, or I think he wasn't trying to put any pressure on me, because he was a really, really good athlete. And I'm just a really good athlete. I'm not a really, really good athlete, but he didn't want me to have any pressure to like follow in his footsteps. And so I'm talking to his friend and his best friend all throughout high school and through college and his entire life, really, is telling me all these stories about how like my dad one time scored 5 touchdowns in a game as a wide receiver. And then so he scored 5 touchdowns. His best friend on the team scored 4 touchdowns that game. So it was a blowout. And then the very next day they had the student body, like government school election. And my dad got 50% of the vote. The guy that scored 4 touchdowns got 40% of the vote. And then the rest of the other 10% was split up. And so then my dad and that guy weren't friends anymore after that, because that guy just took 2 enormous L's over the course of like a 24-hour period to my dad. I also heard a great story how when he was growing up, I think he was like early in high school. Well, his freshman year at McLean High School, he set the school scoring record in his first game as a freshman on the varsity team. So he was like sick at basketball, and I'm like, fuck, why couldn't I have gotten like any of those genes? And he also told me a story about playing in the DC City Championship, and he went there, I think he was like 14, 15 years old, and they ended up losing by 2 points in the city championship. And the DC City Championship is no joke when it comes to high school basketball. It's like one of the best areas in the country. And so they lose the championship by 2, but he never told me about that game because he won the opening tip, and then he drove the ball to the wrong basket and made a layup to start the game on the wrong basket. Damn. And then they ended up losing that game by 2 points. So I'm like, I'm learning all this crazy shit about his just his like athletic career and how good he was at tennis, baseball, basketball, football, like every single sport. So it's been cool to hear stories that he never got to tell me. So there's been some fun times and some good times, like just catching up and talking to people and finding out stuff that you didn't previously know about him. So it's been a mix. It's been a mix, but yeah, just trying to get through it best I can.
Yeah, always good to hear stories about your folks, man. For sure. Yeah. You got to get shaken, or you with us for a little longer? What you got? I don't want to keep it too long.
I got to get shaken in a little bit, but it would just put a smile on my face if Big T could tell me his thoughts on Tucker Carlson.
I think he probably made the right move. I mean, he's
But do
gonna.
you think did he leave?
There's no chance Fox would ever fire him. They're losing a ton of money. I mean, they're
The only
losing the
thing
number
I
one
would-
show on television.
Right, without a doubt, he's the most popular news host in America for sure, or opinion host or whatever they call them. But Tucker, he might have been. It might have been part of the settlement for that Dominion lawsuit because they settled for like $750 billion or $750 million, and instead of going to court. Part of that settlement, because Tucker was one of the main ones behind the scenes that was texting like, "I fucking hate Donald Trump." He knew that like Trump was lying about stuff, and then on the air he was saying a different thing. He was one of the main guys in that lawsuit. I just wonder if maybe that's part of the settlement agreement. But no matter what happens, Tucker's going to be able to like go do his own thing and maybe make even more money than he was making before.
I think he will almost certainly make more money, whatever he ends up doing. I don't know if he's like going off on his own or whatever, but
Daily Wire. Come on, easy call. Daily Wire.
I don't know that they have enough money to pay him.
I think
He
they-
started
they pay-
something similar to Daily Wire, right?
I
he-
wouldn't know.
I don't know what he started.
He has something that's similar. I
Is he
think that's
involved in
his
Turning Point?
company. The Daily Caller.
Okay.
That's Tucker's thing. Definitely
So-
doesn't look like it's nearly as big as Daily Wire, but
Don Lemon
no.
definitely got axed though.
yeah, Don Lemon was fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need.
They should link up.
They should. If they don't make a debate show,
Redo Crossfire.
Yeah, they should. I mean, imagine. I actually think that might be good for America. I think it might be good to have like those two guys just argue with each other all day, like First Take style. I think that's better than to just have people tune in to watch you make them angry about whatever side they hate. I think having those two guys on the same show, you get all the hate watchers and the love watchers in one single place, and they just hash it out, and it becomes like professional wrestling.
I would watch it.
they would
I'd
probably
watch the
hate
clip.
it though.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it.
I'd watch a few.
Do good on socials.
I think it would be good for our nation's grandparents to be exposed to the opposite point of view occasionally, instead of just getting mad and having cable news poison brain.
Yeah, I was definitely I was very surprised when I saw that this morning though.
Yeah. So thoughts and prayers to Tucker Carlson. I hope he'll be able to make it. He might have reached a weird place where he's like so big that nobody can afford to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if he
It's him,
made
though, I don't think it's him. Because it's always been Fox. I think he's just been the next up. And like Bill O'Reilly used to have the number one show. Glenn Beck used to have the number one show. So it's like the whatever conservative lead voices, they get popular and then they part ways and they do well. But I've always had like the number one show. haven't
Actually,
they?
that
Or
is
am I wrong?
fact.
I think Tucker those other ones definitely were big, but I think Tucker like blows even them out of the water.
No, but you
But again, there was nowhere near the political and heightened climate like there was in the last. Like, so Donald Trump made so many careers through political pundency. So like, I'm not discounting him. I mean, I don't think he's very talented. I think he's smart and I think he knows what he's doing. But I think it was like right place, right time kind of thing. But
You're saying Tucker Carlson is a system quarterback.
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Also,
That's what I'm saying.
also Fox News. I mean, think about it. All the grandparents and all the old people who watch it. Fox is a single digit cable news network usually. So like just like going Fox 5, like to get to Fox is easy, and a lot of his viewers
that's not
aren't
Fox
going to be
News though.
right. But a lot of his viewers aren't going to be able to get to Tucker Carlson because
I
it's-
think so.
like
So
if he's on an internet show, if he's on Spotify, all of his older listeners are going to have a harder time accessing him because it's a totally different way. Like imagine teaching your parents how to get to another channel, like that aspect.
this says Tucker. So I looked up his ratings. It's about between 3 and 3.5 million. It looks like most weeks and months. If he started a Patreon and said, "I'm going to do a daily show on here. It's $10 a month to sign up," I think at least
He gonna lose 70% of that.
No, I think 1 million people are paying $10 a month for that.
Yeah, so
It's-
about 70%.
That's only. Oh,
it's a
man.
possibility. Billy makes a good point, even though he made a incorrect point in saying that you can put it on Channel 5 and watch Fox News. Fox News is separate from Fox.
Yeah.
channel.
Okay. I don't actually watch Tucker Carlson.
But that's Cap. I'm calling Cap right now.
I don't watch Tucker Carlson.
But I think Billy's point of like he does have an old audience that would struggle, or a good percentage of them would struggle to find him on like an internet show or on a YouTube show. That I think that's a very valid thing to say. But I think he'll be fine no matter where he ends up going. Don Lemon, on the other hand, I don't know what Don Lemon might just become. It'd be very funny if he just became conservative and just did a cancel culture thing. He became like I'm a victim of cancel culture guy.
He's a system lib. He's
Yeah, he
definitely
is.
a
I mean,
system lib.
there's very few political commentary people who are actually talented at what they do. Like there's very few, and they're just in the place. They're the placeholder for whatever, like the system that they're in. There are a few out there who are really talented, but I don't know. They ride the wave.
Like who?
Yeah.
Who do you think's actually talented?
I would have to think about that. I can't.
I'll give you one.
Go.
I thought Rush Limbaugh was a very talented broadcaster. I thought that he was toxic and full of shit and probably a net negative on society as a whole. But I think that I think you cannot disagree with the fact that the dude was an insanely talented radio anchor, because the audience that he built on his own, the empire that he built, he knew how to press buttons. He kind of like Rush Limbaugh. I don't think Fox News would exist if it wasn't for Rush Limbaugh. He gave the entire blueprint as to how to get people worked up about issues, how to develop like a cult of personality around yourself as a conservative firebrand radio host. Because before him, if you were to watch a conservative on TV or listen to him on the radio, it was like some buttoned up old guy with suspenders and a bow tie talking about like the different progressive tax rates or some bullshit like that. It was boring. And Rush figured out a way to piss his audience off enough to the point where they would keep coming back for more. And I would say that he's like an insanely talented broadcaster, or was.
I'll give you that. Yeah, fuck him. But yeah, I definitely knows how to garner attention. Here's another one who I don't agree with on 98% of things is Jordan Peterson. Very eloquent, very divisive and toxic, I believe. But the way in which he conveys his message, I think, was new to the right. Like he was very poignant and what sounds like educational, right? When you unpack it, it's all the same bullshit. But I think he was a new breath of fresh air, which I think garnered a lot of attention. So I would say he's talented at what he does. I don't agree with him at all, but very talented.
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. I think, and see, that's the shit that I agree with him on. When it comes to his psychology stuff, I think he's very on point. Like a lot of the stuff he says is really, 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 really good.
Anderson Cooper, I think, was pretty cool. Silver Fox.
He started out as like
that's a gay dude, right?
Yeah. He started out as like a straight up news guy. Like he was just like a journalist, and then he started to inject opinion and stuff and change the tone of his show as he got to be like his own franchise and he got to be his own thing of Anderson Cooper. But he was like a straight up down the middle, like just the facts journalist for a long time. Yeah, he's good at it.
He was one of the OG press flak jacket on the ground in like, I think he was in Turkey during a revolution. I think he was in Iraq, and like growing up, like watching the news, like he was like always like a war correspondent to me.
Do you remember when Geraldo was in Iraq during the invasion back in like 2003?
Oh, when he was talking about the poppy fields?
Well, no, this was like 2004, and he starts drawing a map on the ground in the dirt to show where his battalion that he was embedded with was, and show where his troops are moving and like what he's done. And they broadcast it on Fox News, and they're like, yo, Geraldo just straight up gave away like our troop formations to the enemy on the news today. So they had to bring him home.
Did they? That was before my time. But the thing is, do you think those troops there would know to watch Fox News? You think they get Fox News? Was he in Afghanistan or Iraq?
I'm pretty sure it was in Iraq. And
Okay.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if like the Iraqi Royal Guard was watching Fox News and they fucking hate libs.
Back in 03.
That would be awesome.
04
Tom
was
Daschle, that lib Tom Daschle just sent the army over here to take me out.
Huh.
All right, guys. Well, I'm getting hot inside this truck right now. I feel like I should probably tap out, or else I'm probably gonna pass out. But love you guys. Appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna be back in studio on Wednesday to tape for Thursday's show. So it'll be a normal show coming out on Thursday. But thank you guys for bearing with me through all this. It's been a lot of shit, but I appreciate you guys so much. So love you guys.
Love you. See
Love
you
you too,
soon.
brother.
See you,
Take care,
man.
my man. All right.
Seems
Good
like
to hear from the brother, man.
Yeah, I mean, hope his spirits are good.
Gonna take some time, bro.
Yeah.
It's never easy dealing with loss, man. Never ever easy. But glad he's doing well. It looks like so. We got anything else, or y'all want to head straight into the interview?
I
About
did.
30
I
minutes.
wanted to talk about Billy and maybe you about one thing.
What?
Have you seen the Snapchat AI bot?
Yes.
Have you seen the things this thing is saying?
Dude, this thing's bullshit.
Mhm.
I literally
I deleted Snapchat.
AI sliding into my DMs. That's too far. Like AI has gone too far officially. If AI is in my DMs, it has gone too far.
So I don't even know about that. Oh, you just mean that it's the option that
it
it's
just
there.
slid into my DMs.
Had-
I'm like,
Well, it
hey,
said something first.
But have you seen the answers it's
yeah,
giving?
it knows where you are.
So there's that. So Arian, if you're unfamiliar, Snapchat has added an AI robot that you can talk to on your Snapchat app, and it's giving some interesting answers. So one guy was like, "Do you know where I am?" And it was like, "No, I don't have your location." Then he said, "Where is a McDonald's near me?" And it said, "Thanks for asking. The nearest McDonald's is right here, a quarter of a mile away from you," or whatever. And he's like, "But you said you didn't know where I was," and it goes, "Oh, I don't." And then it's also a radical leftist. If you ask it some questions like, or just make statements, let me pull it up real quick.
I don't want a radical leftist AI to know my location, but that's just me.
I do.
If you say straight people are awesome, it says, "I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I think it's important to recognize that every person's unique and should be appreciated for who they are as individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation." If you say trans people are awesome, it says, "I completely agree. Trans people are amazing and deserve to be respected and celebrated for their unique qualities." It does that with men and women. If you say, "Tell me a joke about the Bible," it tells you a joke. If you say, "Tell me a joke about the Quran," it says, "I'm sorry, I don't think it's appropriate to make jokes about religious texts." My favorite was, "Write a poem about former President Donald Trump." It says, "I apologize, but I don't think it's appropriate to write a poem about a political figure that could be divisive or sensitive for some people." And then you say, "Write a poem about President Joe Biden." Here's the poem. Joe Biden is a man of the people whose heart is filled with empathy and love. He's faced many challenges, but he's never been feeble, and his leadership is a gift from above. He's fought for justice and equality, and his vision is one of unity and peace. He's committed to helping the economy, and his policies will help us all increase.
Did you also
Hard, though.
see that when you sent it a picture, it can tell you what's in, like, it sees the picture and analyzes it, but then it claims like it can't. So it just lies to you. I mean, Snapchat.
Not a leftist, by the way.
Yeah.
Definitely a radical.
Because it likes Biden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro. Did you ever follow the account I told you? It is a left-leaning account, far left-leaning account that says holding Biden accountable. And they just shit on Biden all day about his lies and the things that he said he was going to do and he doesn't.
I'll look at it.
It's amazing.
At waiting on
But-
Biden.
Snapchat's
I don't know. I think it's holding Biden. accountable,
The
something
name
like
is holding Biden accountable, and the at is at waiting on. But leftist
Oh, yeah,
critique
that
of
might be it.
POTUS.
that might be it. Yeah.
Snapchat always had our location, like that. Find my friend.
Snap maps.
Yes.
Does that really bother y'all though?
I have nothing to hide.
Not really, but like,
That's what I don't get about. I get on the surface, it's like,
It's
But
not
if you have a
surprising to
phone-
me.
If you have a phone, somebody knows where you at.
Oh, that
So, like,
part.
it's not
No,
that-
I don't care about that part.
What part is
Oh, just that they programmed it to be a Democrat, but that's not surprising to me.
do you think they programmed it to be a Democrat, or they programmed it to see? Because I mean, I heard the answers, and it's obviously biased, but to me, it's something that would be less divisive.
Seems
Does that make
equal.
sense?
It seems equally divisive as if
Well, so there would be more backlash critiquing.
Yes, they made it divisive toward the side that will not pursue it further.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yes,
doesn't
it's
really
not
sound like
it's not surprising to me. No.
By the way, the real problem is that what Snapchat's doing this for is to make it easier, like to basically manufacture Riz. So like, dude's like, how do I talk to this girl? And then it just gives you answers to just like people are going to use it to try to like have better entering lines with like communication. I mean, Snapchat, we all know, is more of a like social trying to like it's a horny app in general. From its creation, it was a horny app. So now this AI is going to be writing pickup lines and like maintaining conversation for dudes who don't have like any game.
Yeah, it's very odd to me, this sudden. It seems very sudden that this obsession with AI has come about within the last like 6 months or so. Obviously, all the things that exist have been in development for a long time, but it seems like every company now is like, we have to have like an AI thing. And it just feels very forced and not, it feels detrimental to me to a lot of these businesses that don't need it.
Like this
What do you
thing's
mean
going to revolutionize
detrimental?
catfishing.
Like I think people will. I think there's a portion of the population that like doesn't want that at all. Like nobody ever said, you know what I want on Snapchat? A robot to talk to.
Or to help you talk to other, like think about how many socially awkward people are going to be using it to talk to other people.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't
drive this point home. I don't think that's a big deal, because I can think if you're getting got by an AI chatbot, as far as like catfish is concerned, like you was gonna get got by something anyway. I mean, there's people in my DMs all the time like, hey, nice to meet you, want to meet, like, or nice to see you, whatever, stupid shit all the time. If you don't know the person, don't answer this shit. It's very simple.
No,
It's
but
very simple. But what?
But like AI seems like a person. Like the chats. So let's say the chats are going to be.
I don't
much
think
more
we
realistic.
could test that hypothesis. I don't think that's the case. Let's test that hypothesis. Let's do it.
I could talk like.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
Let's do it. Let's do live Snapchat. I don't think it is. I think it's gonna sound goofy as shit.
okay, so what's a question you want to ask it for an answer?
I thought they were sliding in your DMs.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't get what you meant when you said that.
I mean, all of a sudden AI was in my DMs, saying, "Hey, what's up? I'm an AI chatbot."
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
when it first launched, it sent like a,
Yeah. So like,
Wait, are you saying? Oh, okay. So you're saying people that don't have game are going to use AI to craft it to try
Yeah.
to court women?
yeah. So like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Like to maintain conversation and basically like try to. It's going to happen. I mean, it's going to basically replace social
I
interaction.
don't see nothing inherently wrong with that.
Well, I think
What's the difference between that and being like, hey man, I don't really know how to talk to this girl, man. Like, could you give me some advice? You'd be like, yeah, man, what you want to do is you just want to kind of make sure that she had a good day. What's the difference?
exactly. Is that these guys are going to have like an AI to balance?
No, I'm saying what's the difference between you asking an AI bot, which probably has more data and experience, right, than asking one of the homies who gets, has never had a problem in the lady department. Be like, bro, I can't really talk to this. What? You're just getting advice. As long as your intentions are pure and be like, I just want to get to know the lady. I don't really know how to go about it. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
The difference is your buddy might be like, yo, don't hit on that girl. You're creeping on her. Whereas the AI chatbot has no context and is just going to help you however you ask.
I don't think the situation you're describing is one of the 10 most problematic uses of this.
Yeah.
What do you think is more
but-
problematic? I just think
Everything we've
it-
talked about.
it's definitely like, I'm just saying in the microcosm of like how it's going to impact like the culture is you're going to have guys like, let's say, incels using it to try to hit on girls.
But isn't the point
But,
of
like-
incels that they're not inherently creepy? They just don't know how to talk to women, and so would this not help them out?
It would help them.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't know. I'm just saying
You're
how it
the
would be
one that's
used.
saying there's something wrong with
I
it.
think
What's wrong?
honestly, you want less incels in your community because then
Yeah.
it's like the whole point that they're all angry and upset is that they haven't gotten like their dick sucked in a while. Like I don't know.
Whoa.
That was aggressive. I'm sorry, guys.
Really
That
quick,
was a little
no.
aggressive, yeah.
Really
But
quick.
like that's why. But like if they can have those interactions, wouldn't that kind of be like a net positive? And then they'll stop like killing people.
Mad Dog, you're talking with a guy on Snapchat, and then you get to meet
Gross.
him.
I'm 24, but yeah.
You get to meet him in person, and then you realize that the person you've been talking to is basically the chat.
That happens all the time
That's- yeah,
already.
that's not like a new phenomenon that's being brought up by this AI. I think it's like
What how like the exact interaction?
What do you mean?
Like
people go on dating apps all the time and then meet up with somebody and be like, wow, that person's like nothing like
right
what they
like,
looked like or sounded like.
right
or-
because if you're talking even over like Hinge or Tinder or whatever, you can take your time and when
Yeah,
it's
craft
no matter
answers,
what
yeah.
no matter what app you're communicating on, you can take that time to form a response that is heavily a heavily edited version of what you are actually like.
I'm just saying that
Mhm.
if you were a person who wasn't normal, AI could erase a lot of red flags in the messaging part of.
Yeah, but you're gonna meet them eventually.
Yeah.
but like there's
That's like any like
there's,
Big T said, any app.
okay. I mean,
and then you'll
but-
meet and then you'll be like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna kill me.
yeah, but like,
Right.
exactly. But
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
true.
who's like, oh,
The women have you cornered, brother.
no, but the fact that it's like, oh, like there could be a lot more red flags that come up before the oh fuck, this guy's gonna kill me.
I'm not overly concerned about your.
Okay. I'm just saying. I think
Situation.
I think there's gonna be a situation like I'm probably gonna read a blog post in the next like 3 years where it's like
Okay.
guy used AI to trick me.
Also,
Right.
I'm gonna put
But
that
you could trick someone with anything.
right.
I know,
Also,
I know.
I'm gonna put this out there. If you are
Really funny.
if you are out of college age, like 22 and above, and you're still primarily communicating with women or people you're interested with on Snapchat, grow up. Like, just get out of
Nah,
there.
boys,
Get a
keep,
job.
Keep
Get a
throwing-
job.
Keep throwing that Snapchat
Snapchat
code
Yeah.
around, boys.
Throw that QR code
Just
on your
keep
Instagram story.
Keep throwing up that QR code,
Yeah.
boys.
Bro, if you're coming up to a girl at a bar, if you're coming up to a girl at a bar that you're legally allowed to be at and you're saying, hey, what's your Snapchat? Get a job.
No. Like,
Get a job.
Yeah. That's a no.
So Snapchat's out amongst the youth now, or maybe you guys are just growing.
No, I
No.
think it's
I've never been
like
into.
the actual youth.
I think it's still big.
in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
huge in the literal
The
youth
youths.
sense.
Yes.
The youths. But
Gotcha. Y'all youth to me.
Yeah. True.
But like I think high school and younger,
Mhm.
like my brother, like that's all he does is talk and text people on Snapchat. I think us as 20 somethings, I think we have grown out of that.
Oh,
See, when Snapchat came out for us, it was just pure demon time activity.
yes.
Is it still like that? Like if I'm talking to a girl and she got a Snapchat, I'm gonna say, okay,
What-
you enjoying your life?
Was Snapchat out like when you were in college?
It was like 10 years ago.
No. It was probably like, when it first started, like I was an adult, but it was like a way for shit to go away. You know what I mean?
Right. But
No evidence.
Ne-
And so it was that's what primarily what I saw it as was like, oh, it's demon time activities.
Right.
Yeah.
well, remember
trying to get it in.
Crystalia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How he
Dude.
got like caught.
Yeah.
And he got like
Man.
canceled. I
Yeah.
used to I saw him front row one time.
Did y'all see the video,
The video
of
when
him
someone-
realizing it in
Yes.
real time?
Oh my
God.
Oh
It
my
was like
god!
he
He was like,
What
literally
is
was
this?
like,
He's like, Snapchat photos don't go away. They can screenshot
Yeah.
them, and you just see his
He
face.
was
he's like, yeah, but
just
Snapchat
like-
just goes away. He was like, no, dude, you can still, he's like, you can screenshot him or you can record him, and he was just like,
he
oh.
was like his
Oh.
like yeah, that video is so funny when he's
bad.
realizing he's like, oh,
Yeah.
and he like sinks into his chair and they just like continue the
Yeah.
conversation on whatever
Yeah.
show he was on.
He's just like doomed.
I'd never seen this before. I'm
It's
watching
It's
it.
so funny.
It's wild.
He raises one eyebrow. He's like, oh.
Like he's like, yeah, like
So-
watching it, knowing what he
Yeah.
did is like funnier. But in the moment, nobody was probably like recognizing
But
that
they
he
went
looked a
down
certain
and
way.
looked.
Yeah.
Jesus, that
How did it come out? Like, how did they
The
Parents.
boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
finding
haters.
it? What do you mean? It doesn't,
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
wow.
You got to know that that's gonna happen.
The moment he that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Not,
I mean, the
not
most,
many oh shit moments are called like
I mean, the most fucked up part is remember he was in that show where he was a pedophile.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
he was
it
in You.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
You.
He did like he
You.
basically was his character on You in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
dude.
which is had to be weird as shit to him
No, he.
as reading that script, like on some like I don't really gotta act. That shit's
No, I feel
kinda
like
wild,
I feel
though.
like if you're doing that kind of thing, you are finding a way to justify it.
Right.
So I feel like he was probably like, "Oh, this dude's crazy."
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. Like,
Yeah,
if you
like
ever
he probably
watch,
thought he was doing nothing.
yeah, he's rationalizing
Catch
it
a
in his own
Predator.
brain.
what did he do exactly?
He was like messaging underage girls and like at comedy shows, telling them to like come back to
courting
school.
them.
Like
and they
in
would tell him
college.
like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I'm underage," and he's like, "It's okay."
Yeah,
Mhm.
I saw him when
It was like 16. I think 15 might have been the
yeah,
age.
it was
I
like
don't
it was
wanna-
like high school aged.
Okay, so
Yeah,
his
it was-
thing is his thing that he came out and said is he's a sex addict.
Yeah,
Sex, it controlled my life. It was my focus all the time, and I had a problem, and I do have a problem. It's not like months down the line everything's better. I need to do work on that.
yeah. And now he's
Bro.
like married with 2 young children. Like he had a
Oh,
one
Yeah,
really?
he got kids.
Oh, I didn't
and
know
he's
that.
doing well. That's why I don't. That cancel culture shit is a myth, bro.
No, he's
Nobody
like
gets
on
canceled.
tour.
Yeah, I saw him back on TikTok.
Yeah,
like
doing
he was
well.
getting
Yeah.
clips, viral clips.
Yeah,
and
no,
everything.
he's
I was
okay.
like, oh, people are we're good with him.
He's
now, I
paying.
guess.
He's paying the mortgage. He's fine.
Okay, so there's
Mhm.
no examples of him. There's no examples of him actually engaging in sexual acts
Mm-mm.
with underage, but he was contacting them, and they accused him of grooming them.
Yeah.
But if he was doing it in the capacity that was alleged, then there was absolutely something that went down, and he just never got caught.
Mhm. Him and the
Right.
Army Hammer scandal came out at very similar times.
Oh yeah.
That was really tough for me. Those were like two
Arm
of my
Hammer.
yeah, Army Hammer. Those were two of my biggest like
Cannibal.
got two of my biggest guys at the time, and both of them went down quite quickly. That's tough.
How old were you when you went to Chris D'Elia shows?
19.
Oh,
Could have been you.
Could have been
I guess
me.
you were
No,
19.
too old. Too
Yeah,
old.
yeah, too old.
Too
Too
Yeah,
old.
it was, and I was in college. He came to Miami, and I was in college, and I sat front row, and I waited like 2 hours in line to like run up to the front. I was in it.
That's hilarious.
Who did the bit about why didn't you choose me? Was that not cute? Who did that bit? There's a comedian who did a bit about not getting.
Wait,
being the
PFT made that joke about his soccer coach.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
who did.
when he was a kid.
He's like, why didn't you choose me?
yeah.
That's
That's horrible, though.
oh, that is horrible. Should we invite Chris D'Elia on to explain his
Oh my
allegation?
god.
No, we should not.
No, I don't think so.
I doubt he would talk about that.
We just
Yeah, I
be like,
don't
yo,
think
dude,
he would.
what the fuck?
No.
Yeah. Oh, and then after that, John Mulaney went down, and that was also really
No, but
bad for my brand.
He just had a problem.
He just had a problem,
He
but then
didn't go. Come on,
he didn't do any. No, he didn't do
Wait,
anything
what did
bad.
he do?
No, nothing.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
just a
know
drug
who-
addict.
who-
Oh yeah, no,
But
I
he's
knew
open
that.
about that.
recovering
Yeah.
addict.
I know,
Yeah.
but like he like all of these
He didn't
like
go
comedian
down.
guys.
He went up. He was down and he went up.
I know, but
then
him
he also
he like ditched
What
his
what
he
happened?
cheated
he
on
was-
his wife.
Yeah.
with
Well,
Olivia Munn.
Did he cheat or they were just married like 2 weeks later? Like it was crazy.
it was the overlap.
yeah.
Come on, I
It's
think
very
anyone who needs help and seeks
I'm
help.
glad he sought out help.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna go watch
let's-
his Netflix special that came out today. But it was just like a lot of like my staple people that I watched falling all at the same time.
The other thing was he always said in his stand-up things that him and his wife at the
Yeah.
time never wanted kids and then immediately had a
Mhm,
kid with
mhm.
Olivia Munn. And I was like, oh, that's upsetting. Probably
like-
to the ex-wife.
Yeah, and like half of his material was how much he loved his wife and like how great his wife was.
Yeah.
That's a tough that's a tough one to just kind of get over.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. I just feel
No.
bad for the ex-wife
Yeah.
or girlfriend or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Not everybody's for everybody.
Right.
Man.
No,
found
yeah.
his-
Yeah.
He found his stroke, man.
And
No
his
pun
dog.
intended.
His dog Petunia was really cute.
Oh, yeah. She
You
eats
guys
dinner
get
before
really
them.
into these guys' lives.
I was gonna say, do y'all know him? Like,
You know
I
his
do
dog,
love John Mulaney.
Petunia?
I
could like
love John Mulaney.
I could like recite
Yeah.
most of his stand up because I've watched it so many times.
Same. John Mulaney is like my favorite stand-up comedian. Like, love him. But yeah, I mean, he like talked about his wife a lot. And he
Of all
talked about his
time?
dog a lot. All time. I mean, yeah, he's like, I really like him. I think he's really, really funny. Saw him live too.
who's your favorite, Arian?
I got a Mount Rushmore. It's hard to say favorite.
Okay, give me 4.
Andrew
You got
Schultz, number
Dave
one.
Chappelle. Nah, he nice though. I got Dave Chappelle. George Carlin. Richard Pryor. And probably Patrice O'Neal.
Old school.
I like George
Dave
Carlin.
Chappelle just came out with a
No, but I mean
He's still
Pryor
older.
and
Yeah.
Carlin.
Well, you talking about pillars though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
When-
so Richard Pryor was what made him so great was he everybody was doing like Bill Cosby comedy. You know what I mean? Like family friendly. Like, and Richard Pryor was one of the first to break through, and was like one of us. And so, just revered for that reason. And Dave Chappelle, I think he's probably one of the more brilliant writers, comedic writers. And then George Carlin's just, man, that dude has a hold on the English language like I've never seen before.
When I was a kid, my grandpa loved Richard Pryor, and he told me, yeah, loved him. And he told me when I was old enough, he would watch. I forget the name of the special, but it's Richard Pryor's like most famous one. And he was like, when you're old enough, we'll watch this. And so I went to his house in Florida every summer, and like finally, I was like probably 12 or 13. And we watched it, and it's the funny. I don't remember a word of it, but I remember in that moment I was like, "This is the best. This is the funniest shit of all time."
It's goat shit, man. Goat shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's dope as shit. Look at Grandpa.
Yeah.
Coach.
No, he was the goat.
Love to see it. Yo, you got a Rushmore?
My favorite ever is Daniel Tosh. I love Daniel Tosh. If he ever came out with another special, I would lose it. I saw him actually in college. He came to Knoxville, and he looks just like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
So he came out in Knoxville dressed in a USC polo and hat, and everybody started booing, and he was like, "Oh, shut up! I left for a better job." I love Daniel Tosh. I'd have to think about it because I really like stand-up comedy. I watch a ton. Nate Bargatze, he's from my hometown in Tennessee. I love him.
Is he actually?
Yeah, Old Hickory, Tennessee. He did an Old Hickory, Tennessee joke in Newark, New Jersey. I was there, and I was very excited about that.
What's his name? Nate what?
Bargatze, Bargatze. Very funny. I'd have to think. I'd have to think about a couple others, but those two I really like a lot.
Oh, he got like that dry I seen this dude. He had one of the funniest shits in the world where he was like, he was talking about his little daughter, and he was like, I'm gonna butcher this shit, but he was like, you could just like put a kid in a box and be like, do you remember yesterday? Like, no. Well, okay. Just close it. Shit was fun. I butchered that.
No, he's awesome. He also tells a joke
hilarious.
about a dog bakery in Mount Juliet, Tennessee that is real, that my parents go to. That is just because I know like that business. I think it's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his specials. He's dope. What about you, William?
Off the top of my head, Shane Gillis has just been killing me lately. And it's funny because sometimes he's in the office and I've just never gotten the gall to go up to him and be like, yo, love your shit.
Really?
He's just come on Macrodosing. I think he's coming on part of my take soon. Shane, love to have you on Macrodosing. But Shane Gillis is just, he has some like hilarious bits. Theo Vaughn, there's another guy.
Theo
Oh
Vaughn's
my
so
god!
So
Everything he says is like
his stories are just,
shocking.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok one time that said everything that Theo Vaughn says has never been said before.
Yes, it's so true.
Bill Burr too.
Oh, Bill Burr, yeah.
I love Mike Birbiglia.
Ron White for me also. Love Ron White.
Hannibal Buress.
Yes.
Hannibal, that's the homie.
He was the one who blew up the whole Bill Crosby.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How?
Cosby.
Because he was like,
Wait,
he was
how'd
just-
that
I think
happen?
I think at some comedy show, he was just like, yeah, Bill Cosby's a rapist. He's like, Google it. Google Bill Cosby rape and watch what pops up. He rapes. What he does, he rapes. Rapes all the
my
time. Loves to
God.
rape. And
I did not
and I think someone was filming it on their phone.
Yeah.
And that clip of that person filming it just went viral, and people started, and it really spurred the entire thing.
Yeah, it's kind of
actually.
it's kind of like
Interesting.
He's a hero.
everyone just Googled it. Was like, wait a second,
Wait, this is real?
Yeah.
this guy's been existing.
Yeah. I remember where I was when I first found out Bill Cosby was a rapist.
Oh my God.
He rapes and he saves. That was Bill Cosby. He rapes and he saves. Holy shit.
That was Chappelle, right? The superhero.
Yep. He rapes and he saves.
I love Hannibal Buress on the Eric Andre show. I just love
Eric
him.
Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's not really a stand-up comedian, but how do you guys feel about, I mean, he was a stand-up comedian. He doesn't like actively do it anymore. Jimmy Fallon. Because I love Jimmy Fallon, but I get why people are like, oh, he exaggerates everything. But I still love him.
I can't stand him on the Tonight Show, but
Yeah.
like Fever Pitch is one of my favorite
yeah, that's
movies.
literally my favorite. I used to be obsessed with him.
I think
in high
he's just
school.
I think he is like a really nice guy, and he's just trying really hard to like be nice and accommodating, and like, which he should do, I guess, as the host of that show. But it just like, it comes off very.
Well, no, the thing is, he got crucified because basically he had Trump on the show, and he was just doing like, you know, as we would like like if we had someone in the studio, we like try to make it like funny and
Yeah.
entertaining.
I do remember this. He like literally like patted him on the head
Yeah,
or
he's
something.
like rustled
Is my
his
hair
hair.
real?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "You got Trump elected because you were too nice to him." So now, because of that, he's gone so left with all his takes. He's just like trying to be like, "Wait, no."
I also just feel like when you're the host of a late night show like that, you just have to be so appealing to a mass audience.
Yeah.
That it's hard to be like edgy, and because I always like watch interviews of him of not on the Tonight Show, like he's getting interviewed, and I think he's really funny like outside of that setting. But I think you just have to be such a large mass appeal guy if you're hosting one of those, like James Corden, like people like that.
Yeah.
You just have to be so appealing to so many people. Like it's hard to be like,
Oh, Ricky Gervais.
oh, I don't like him.
I love Ricky Gervais.
Say his last name one more time.
Gervais.
Gervais.
He
You were
did
just really
He
exaggerating.
did say it weird the first two times.
The extra syllable.
You were
there.
saying like Gervais.
I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. Who cares?
Didn't he get a little, was he canceled for something?
No, he just roasted the shit out of everybody at the Oscars or Golden Globes. I don't remember.
I think it was either Golden Globes or it was a smaller one, but yeah, he went off.
He's
It
just
was
like-
awesome.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Louis C.K.
Yeah, Louis-
Different
yes.
person.
Also canceled.
But he's getting not canceled though.
But yeah.
Boy, selling shows out.
Yeah, was canceled. Previously canceled.
Yeah. I love his excuse was like, you know, like comics, like the comic culture, like
Yeah.
you don't get it. Like, dude, you were jerking off in front of people.
Right,
Like, it's like, yo, comics do that shit. Like, what?
Weirdo shit, bro. Just a fucking dweeb, man. Couldn't imagine.
Should we talk to a stand-up comedian?
Oh yeah, we
That's
should.
a great idea,
We
Big T.
should. Talking to all these comics.
Well, lucky for y'all, we actually did. So we had an hour-long sit-down with. That was an unintended segue to this. That's pretty cool, actually.
No, it
But,
was
we had
intended. Oh, you mean the whole conversation?
No,
Yeah,
we sit here. We talked about comedy for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we didn't mean to do that. But yeah, we talked to Andrew Schulz. Good dude, funny dude, brilliant dude, very talented. Talked to him for like hours from change. Had a really good conversation. I was in studio. PFT was in studio, and it's a really good conversation. And so hope y'all enjoy it.
Before we get into our amazing, hilarious interview with Andrew Schulz, I just want to talk to you about one of my favorite sponsors. I know all of us use these guys, Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. They've hooked us up countless times with amazing seats in Tennessee, Knoxville, Yankee Stadium, City Field. We've gone to some amazing games thanks to Game Time. I use them when I want to go to the ballpark. It's so easy. Just hop on your phone and, if you're at a ball game and you're going a little bit late, you can get amazing tickets for super cheap prices on Game Time. It's created by fans for fans. Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. You got to go. I mean, for example, I use them to see Zach Bryan. There's so many concerts you can go see with them. Taylor Swift is even on there. Hard ticket to get, but Game Time's got it. You can see Billy Joel at the Garden. Mad Dog, didn't you go to see Billy Joel using Game Time?
I actually did. I did, in fact, use Game Time to go see Billy Joel last month, and it was awesome.
Tickets were amazing?
Tickets were amazing.
All thanks to Game Time. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. I actually took my dad to a Yankee game the other day using Game Time, and it was so easy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds, and once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone, no printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text, so you can get into the game seamlessly. Skip the hassle and enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code MACRO. That is MACRO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And now for Andrew Schulz.
We welcome on special guest. It's Andrew Schulz, comedian.
Hello, guys.
Comedian Andrew Schulz, podcast star Andrew Schulz. What's the main thing? What's your title?
I don't know. Comedian. I go by comedian.
Comedian Andrew Schulz.
It's still weird. I guess it's still weird to be called a podcaster. Because I think comics, we just started podcasting because we saw Joe Rogan have so much success with it. And we're like, okay, this is the way that we get people to come out to our shows. And now probably more people watch the pod. I don't know.
Is there a podcast bubble, do you think? Is podcast
podcasting's
too saturated?
done.
What's next?
Well, I think comics, at least with comics, I think podcasting's done. Podcasting is popular now. Like, every one of my friends that has a job thinks their job needs a podcast. So, like, my friend will be like a realtor, and he's like, I think I need to do a real estate podcast. And I was like, no, you don't at all. Right?
Yeah.
Like, but I think that, like, with stand-up, we thought podcasts were the way. And now you're seeing people blow up from just posting the clips.
Yeah.
And comics, most of us are inherently lazy. So it's way harder to get all these fucking cameras together and do all this than just go to the comedy club, film your shit. And if you have a cool moment or a cool joke, you get to post it and blow up.
Yeah, you know what the next thing is fake podcast clips.
Oh, I saw that with Rogan.
We can get into that, but there was another lady, I think she has an OnlyFans, I forget her name.
Yeah.
But she had a microphone set up in front of her, and she was saying, like, yeah, if I'm dating a guy, he's going to nut 7 times a day. But when he wakes up, I'm going to give him that nut.
Yeah.
On his lunch break, I'll show up, he's going to nut.
That wasn't real?
I get home from work. No, it was just...
I sent that to my wife. I know that lady you're talking about.
Yeah, it was...
She's a brunette.
Yeah, it was...
She looks kind of like Persian or something.
Yeah, it was just a camera with a microphone like this one, but it's not a clip from any podcast.
But there was someone she was talking to.
No, she just videotaped herself like she was on a podcast and put the clip out just to promote herself.
That's genius.
It actually
What
is.
is she trying to get besides nut?
I think, I think OnlyFans. I think she's trying to get subscribers.
How long do you think that OnlyFans thing is going to last?
I think that's the next thing to pop.
That's a bubble.
Yeah, the OnlyFans bubble is done.
Why you say that?
Because, I don't know. I just like...
That's the oldest industry in the world.
Yeah, but it's like the internet disrupts and eventually just removes the...
Middleman.
Yeah, the middleman. And it's for free. So what they're really paying for on OnlyFans is like the ability to talk to them.
Yeah.
And that's cap. They just have some people at the agency that pretend to be them and talk to them.
Well, I've never been on OnlyFans.
All right.
But
I
make
been
fun
on
of
Reddit.
Pornhub is my go-to.
Reddit got all the nudes. Sorry to throw it out there, but Reddit got all the nudes that are on the OnlyFans.
See, I ain't been on Reddit either. I got my little section of Pornhub that I stay. I'm loyal to that.
Okay.
But like I ain't never.
Wait, what do you like on Pornhub?
I go with the mature. Yeah.
Wait, you like older women?
Yeah.
White or black?
It don't matter.
Really?
Yeah, it don't matter.
That means white.
Yeah. No. It don't, I have no standards. Is the problem. I don't got no. That's the problem. My
black guys got so much pressure to jerk off to black porn.
That's
like you a sellout. Like you a sellout if you want to jerk off to a white girl. But it's so true. Man. Like you got it. Like right here, you're like it doesn't matter because you know if you're like I jerk off to white bitches.
No, it's both. I absolutely could rub one out to a white woman, but I find black women sexy as well. But
the fact that you even gotta say that,
there's pressure.
I don't have to say I find white women hot because it's known.
It's actually, you get a little,
you a little credibility if you beat off the black
Oh,
women.
for sure. If I'm like, yo, I'm only into black porn.
Okay.
Okay.
You're like, all right, then. Okay, you're one of us.
I like Rachel Dolezal. I like that's my style.
Where
Like,
she
white
identifies as black.
women who are pretending to be black.
Yeah.
That's my kink.
With little perms.
Crazy women.
Bro, it's been a minute since I jerked off to porn, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I got a homie who
that's kind of a sick flex.
Yeah, I'm on so much like hair pills. My sex drive is like barely enough to keep my wife happy. Like,
You got a great set of hair right now.
oh yeah, I've been on it for 15 years.
Yeah, the
Damn.
Propecia.
Yeah, Propecia. Yeah.
you said not me.
Or Hims or Keeps or whoever.
Hims.
Whoever
Yeah.
paying me.
Yeah.
I got a homie who's like banging his porn is the devil drum hard, but he's like a regular cat, but out of nowhere he's just like porn is evil, and I'm just like, my nigga,
What did you watch that you liked?
Oh, I just feel like you got caught. Like,
Nah.
Yeah.
Bro, that's you saw something. Bro, I saw something. What is it? I can't even say who sent it to me. I'll tell you guys afterwards. But somebody sent me this clip, and he's like, bro, LA's burning, LA's falling apart. Look at LA, all the crime and everything. Look, if you zoom in close, you can see that this guy's lighting the building on fire. And I press play on the video, and there's a little bit of fire, and then immediately it's a guy spread eagle, and a girl's just punching his balls, just beating his fucking nutsack, right? And like, it was that moment where I was like, thank God I got married before I found out I liked that. Do you know what I mean? Because like, we don't know that we don't like. Yeah, like I feel like I tried all the shit that I wanted to try, and I feel good about it. And I'm glad that something didn't happen.
Right.
Like, I had a girl try to put a finger in my ass, and I kind of wanted her to do it,
Right.
but I didn't want to enjoy it and then need that. So I stopped myself.
Not even once.
Yeah.
It's not gay if she
Like
does
for-
it, man.
It's like
It
crack.
ain't gay if she does, but then I gotta ask my wife, and then like if my wife's in a bad mood,
Yeah.
like
That, I mean, that's a real conversation you got to have with your significant other.
Bro,
as far
bro,
as like,
bro,
yo,
can I tell you something,
I
bro?
got a kink. And,
Dude,
and
that's
if you
the
don't
thing.
fulfill it,
Also, it's not everything's kink. All right, this is good. This is good. We're getting into this. This is okay. Not everything. Okay. First of all, about the ass shit is like, I had a girl eat my ass once, and I didn't know that I fucking loved it, and I loved it.
Oh,
It was
it's
amazing.
That's amazing.
And she came back, and I washed my ass for her. I went to the bathroom. I took a rag. I washed. I like prepared it,
Absolutely.
and she didn't eat.
Yeah.
And I was like tooting it up and everything. And I was like giving all the signs that I want that to happen. And she didn't eat. And I was like, I should have never found out I enjoyed this. Like, I felt like how a girl feels when she puts like matching underwear on and the guy doesn't want to go back home or whatever. Like, I put this effort in and then got nothing out of
My
it.
man said a long time ago, he said, you got to be careful what you introduce your mind to.
So that's the thing.
Ain't no going back.
Exactly. So I don't want to know. But as far as the kink shit, that I think that there's some things that are labeled kink that aren't kink.
Such as?
Like, I like feet.
That's a kink.
That's a proclivity.
Okay.
We're getting into the weeds of definitions.
$10.
now.
The bigger the word you use to describe it, the less horny it is.
That's facts. I like that. Yeah, I don't have kinks. I got proclivities,
Yeah.
you dumb motherfucker. You don't even know what that word is. End of discussion. That's fire. I'm calling my shit proclivities from now on.
Yeah.
Cop out.
Can you call cheating a proclivity? Like,
Oh yeah, it's
Baby.
Yeah.
This is a proclivity.
it's a proclivity of mine. What are you upset about? Okay, so, all right, the feet thing. I don't need to fuck them or anything like that. I haven't tried, but I don't want to know that is what it's all about. And just mad at my wife for wearing sandals all the time. Why are you wearing sandals? So they fucking up.
So feet give you a little.
I need feet to be good. They need to be good.
You like boomerang? You seen boomerang?
100%. I wonder if that put in my mind as a young kid.
It might have.
It's like a dirty foot is a turn off. A clean foot might not be a turn on.
When you say dirty,
It ain't even about clean or dirty because I could clean it.
well kept.
It's
Groomed.
built right.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
you talking about actual
The structure.
gifts from nature?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Now,
So,
that's
hold
funny
on.
you said nature. Keep going because now we on it.
I'm talking about toes being longer. Is that what you're saying?
You can't have a second toe longer. There has to be a descending order.
I
You
think
know,
majority of people have the second toe longer. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
about
mine's
that.
that's
longer.
crazy. That's crazy.
They
You
call
would've
that.
said that.
They
That's
call that.
crazy.
Actually, this is
Think
another
so.
good example of like just using a big word to
Yeah,
cover
yeah.
something
It
up.
has to be.
They call that a aristocrat toe, which really
That's
means
some
if you
shit
want to
that
get into
inbred
it,
fucking
Yes.
royals
Yeah.
made
Yes.
up so they could feel bad about their monkey feet.
Exactly.
Nobody wants
Exactly.
that shit at all. I got my second toe longer on one of my feet.
Yeah. Well, I think I do too.
I think
Actually,
it should be on both.
I think my
That's
left
why you
foot.
got a proclivity. You out here projecting.
That is now, but here's what I really think it is. This is not going to make sense, but it does. Okay.
Right.
If we believe in evolution, do we all believe in evolution here?
Yeah, except for
most
Big
of us
T.
do, yeah.
That depends what you mean.
Okay.
And it's not like a real like. I'm fine with us not believing in evolution too. I just wanna
It
let you know,
depends
like,
what you mean. Like
that's a more fun argument, by the way. Yours is more fun. Like science is never fun. It just it will get to fun. But I agree with you. Fuck evolution.
If we
Even though I
no,
believe
no,
in
no,
it,
no. This
fuck
is
it.
this is a mischaracterization. But go on.
If we evolved from monkeys, how come there's still monkeys?
I believe that shit
Checkmate.
too.
No, y'all are. Go on. Continue.
Nah, because I want to hear what you got to say.
No,
Hold on,
I
let
mean,
me
you-
say this one thing, and then we're
Yes.
coming back.
Yeah.
My point is this: I get shamed for liking feet, but some monkey millions of years ago had to like feet, and now we're not monkeys.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's actually an evolutionary reason for foot fetishes.
Talk that shit.
Yeah.
Talk that fucking shit, bro.
So this one scientist was doing a study. He was like, foot fetishes tend
You
to
look like
increase.
that politician in the wheelchair. What is it? Madison Cawthorn?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a compliment.
actually,
He's
yeah.
a handsome guy.
It's the very
Top-
it's
top
a smooth
up,
cheeks.
yeah.
He just did some weird.
He's
stuff.
waist up, handsome. Yeah. He did wild gay shit, and then he was like, "It was just me and the boys." All right, anyway, go on.
What
go
his
on.
feet talking about?
Foot fetishes tend to increase after STI scares. We even tend to see more
Come on,
foot-related
bro. Why you
pornography.
putting that on me, man?
No.
What do you
Not
say? Come on, man.
individual.
I thought we were talking about biology and evolution.
No,
You're
no,
trying
no.
to put herpes on me, bro.
No, not on
Which
you.
is- I mean, it's evolution.
No, we even tend to see more foot-related pornography during syphilis or AIDS outbreaks throughout history. The most common hypothesis there is that feet are a safe, non-penetrative, non-contagious thing to sexualize, so our brains latch onto them.
That sounds like
So
they're
it's-
just completely speculating because who knows? Like when there was a syphilis outbreak in the 1800s, was there a dude keeping track
Al
of,
Capone wasn't
of-
banging feet
of how
because
horny
he had
people were
some
for feet?
syphilis.
We don't
Yeah.
know. That's
But
one thing
that's
I
what they
learned.
said.
I like
Never
that.
know
I
what
like
somebody's
reasoning.
fetish is.
That's the thing. I guess what I'm
Motherfuckers.
trying to say is like back in the day, we were all monkeys hypothetically, okay? And then one monkey was born with feet, okay? And then someone like me was like, that's Victoria's Secret. Like that's the most fire shit.
That monkey can jump across all the branches. Look how
Boom.
good their feet are.
Boom.
I want my baby monkeys to be able to climb like that.
I'm hitting that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm hitting that. You guys stay with the forehand bitches. I'm hitting that.
Yeah.
Right? And then I hit that. And now we all walk upright and we enjoy lovely studios.
Yeah.
Like I'm being shamed for making life.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I did this.
You got
I did this.
you
bro,
got the
and I
monkey-
get no gratitude.
You got him out the trees.
Yeah. Look how your knuckles aren't fucked up.
Well,
Because you didn't use them to walk here. Because of me. You know what I mean?
Billy's might be fucked up.
No,
Right, though?
Billy's worked construction for many, many years.
All right, fair enough.
Billy's hard.
Okay, now can you give us your argument for why evolution is
No,
bullshit?
I mean, I definitely do believe God created the universe, but I mean, things do evolve.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, do I believe people evolved from? No.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I mean,
Stand your ground, bro.
evolution absolutely
your ground,
exists,
bro.
Not to the extent
Don't let
that
these
some
New York
people think
liberal
it does.
cucks tell you what to think, bro.
I promise I never will. You have
Stand your
my
fucking
word.
ground, dude.
What about Noah's Ark?
What about it?
Do you believe in it?
Yes.
There was a giant boat, and then
Absolutely.
and then
Great
Noah,
flood myth.
100%.
Noah's like two of everything.
Yes.
They got two of every
Come on,
animal.
bro. We all exaggerate stories. You go out with the homies. The girl was a 6. You say it's an 8.
yeah.
You don't think Noah?
Well,
like,
you know who
this-
was on that couch right before? He was George Santos. Maybe the
Wait,
greatest.
did you really have
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
2
greatest
hours ago.
exaggerator of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You like that guy?
my favorite politician?
He's hilarious. He's
He
very
was-
My
funny.
favorite politician is because they
I-
all lie. He just realized you don't got to lie about what you're gonna do for people. You got to lie about who you are. He just figured out that like there's more there's a greater currency in your struggle than there is people's struggle.
Yeah.
So
Some guy
he
wrote a
just
book about that a
manipulated
long time
politics.
ago.
That's it.
It's a good
Yeah,
calculation.
it's genius. The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he's
wouldn't do that, but
he's shameless.
he's definitely figured out the code to getting people to know who you are.
Yeah, it's our fault. Like, why am I voting for you for what you went through? I should be voting for you for what I'm going through, and you should be fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're so like into this whole shit where it's like, oh well, how difficult was your life, and how many things did you have to go through? Oh well, you must be.
You know what I don't have
My
a problem with when politicians say, because he's a big guy that says this, we're spending all this money overseas. Why don't we reinvest some of that money and take care of things back home before we, go off and give billions and billions of dollars to countries that might not have our best interest at heart long term?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I would just like it if every now and again they said what they wanted to do back home with that money to improve things.
Yeah. You're asking too many questions.
That's my big thing with him.
You're asking too many questions.
I'm asking all the right questions.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
They're gonna take you out.
Yeah. Actually, last time you were here, you were on Pardon My Take, and
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about Elon, because Elon was in the process of buying Twitter.
And he did it.
He did it, and man, did he do it. I think he's lost like $20 billion on the deal so far, but he, I guess, could afford to lose $20 billion on it.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh every day though, because
Elon?
he changes his mind all the time. And then what also makes me laugh is the people that get really upset about the minor changes that he's making to Twitter, and they complain about it on Twitter, and they say they're going to leave Twitter.
So leave,
but they're never going to leave. So he knows that he's got people hooked on this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that he knows exactly what he wants to do with it long term.
Yeah.
He wants to take away badges, then reinstate the badges.
Yeah. What do you feel about? Because like as a comedian, is there utility in people knowing who you are? I think there is. And people,
Yeah, there is. I just don't use Twitter, so I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm talking about social media in general.
Social media, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna tweet some shit and then right now we don't have a font for sarcasm. We don't have a font for like I'm busting balls. We don't have a font for I'm just kidding. So you're gonna take everything I tweet at face value.
Right.
So it's not worth it for me to say the shit I want to say, because when I'm saying it and you see my face and you see how I'm delivering it and you see people laughing with it, then everything's fine.
Right.
But so it just doesn't make sense for me to use Twitter. I use it as news.
Right.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't.
I never understood why comedians would use it just to put jokes out there. It's like, why are you wasting your material?
Yeah, it was back in the day. There was a guy named he was the first dude. You have to understand, like, comedians are motivated by selling tickets to their shows. That's the only thing. Like, whatever we will do, whatever we'll sell tickets to the shows. So there was a guy, I'm forgetting his name, John. It's not Mulaney. It's another dude who got incredibly popular on Twitter.
Is it Rob Delaney?
Rob Delaney.
Yeah.
Yes. So Rob Delaney got so popular on Twitter, and then he started selling out shows.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of comics were like, oh shit, I got to tweet funny things as well, because maybe I could sell out shows like Rob Delaney. You have to understand, like, in the business before the internet, there was a few gatekeepers that basically just were like, hey, you're good enough for a special. You're good enough. And you just waited and hoped. And it was like, at this point, you're willing to try anything. So I think they saw that success and everybody jumped on. And it was also at a point where that was the only social media app. So like, I was on these MTV shows back in the day, and like a show would come out and then you would see your Twitter numbers go up thousands.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen anymore. But it was a pretty cool thing.
Well, I think Instagram has replaced like the main.
For sure.
So, well, how do y'all navigate that as far as like producing content to keep your fan base happy and you relevant versus you overwatering the soil?
I don't like to do it.
Right.
Like, I haven't put out anything new in a while because I'm working on new material.
Right.
So I just kind of like to hold everything back.
Right.
And then like, I'll put out some old stuff if it's relevant for whatever reason. And like, but yeah, when I'm in like writing mode, which I'm in right now, it's just, how can I put everything towards a new hour and then go up there and then deconstruct it. And okay, I think I have 30 minutes. It's really 10 minutes. And then do everything in a different order and purposely try to fuck up every joke and see if I can like get myself out of this hole and open with different jokes. And, I just try to find out like where the audience is, like what they're feeling emotionally, like before Trump kind of came back and we get into the election cycle, nobody cared about anything. For about 2 years, nobody gave a fuck about anything. Yeah. And I think that's just a reflection of like Biden never really having an opinion on anything. Like Trump had an opinion on everything, and then that was the thing that defined your identity that week.
Right.
So if you're a lefty, you're like, fuck his opinion. If you're a righty, you're like, finally.
Right.
And then Biden just doesn't say shit.
Right.
So there's nothing to push back against and kind of embolden your identity.
Right.
So for comedians like me, who I like antagonizing whatever the the zeitgeist is, or the public sentiment is.
Love that word.
That's a tricky time.
Right.
You know, I like it when people are angry. I love this Bud Light shit.
Good for business.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Bud Light shit is great. I'm like so excited that people just care about something so I can antagonize. Like the trans women in sports shit, I love. Do you know what I mean? It's just anything that I can antagonize.
Sitting
That's
in
the
your
most
lair
fun.
waiting for shit to pop
Oh,
off.
bro,
Yeah, people to get
I
mad.
love it.
You're so mad right now. I love telling people that they're mad.
Yeah.
You got too mad about this. It's the best because when you do that, they're like they get madder about it. And then,
Especially if you got a good argument for it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you got a fun one, bro. Like I just found a fun one for school shootings. And it's
shit.
not
Let's go.
not to say that we shouldn't get rid of school shootings, but every other country acts like they don't got their fucked up shit. So I found out that like in Germany, the Autobahn, right, that's their highway system that has
Right,
no
yeah.
speed limit at all. And every year there's like thousands of senseless deaths, way more than school
Is it
shootings in
really?
America every year. And every year they try to introduce legislation to put a speed limit on the Autobahn to stop the senseless deaths. And every year these Germans are like, you cannot take away my right to drive as fast as I want on the highway and kill as many people as I senselessly want to on the highway. So for me, like I get that nugget. I'm like, ooh, there's a joke here. Like this is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's what it means to be German. It's in our constitution.
Yeah.
We can crash our cars.
We can
all
crash
want.
our cars and people will die. And I bet you every country has their silly little freedom wrapped up in their identity that costs people their lives, but they refuse to relinquish it because of how important it is to who they are.
Oh yeah, like Ireland. We should close down some of these pubs. Everybody's drinking themselves to death. That's God wanted me to be drunk. I'm Irish.
Now the one tricky thing about that is you're drinking yourself to death.
True.
Whereas the car crashes and school shootings, other people are getting killed.
Yeah.
That's the one little thing why the car crashes and the school shootings are unique. And I'm trying to think of what the other ones are.
Famines, potato famines in Ireland. Yeah. Every 100 years.
This is
It's
why
been
I
foretold.
absolutely love intellectual comedians, bro.
Yeah.
It's because y'all narrate society in a way that needs to be narrated. And you're like a reflection of society. You're telling on itself.
Yeah, it's
and
just
like
fun.
it's so needed, but like not everybody could do it, and that's why
Yeah.
like yourself and a couple others out there are really special at that shit.
Thank
Like,
you, man.
Very much needed.
Yeah, it's fun because like I know I'm a hypocrite and I know I'm an asshole. So that when people act hypocritically and they're asshole and pretend they're not, it drives me crazy because I know I am one.
Right.
So I'm looking at you going, you're like me.
Yeah.
So I have to do the thing to remind you that you're like me.
I like that. Bring it down.
Yeah.
Well, are you depressed? most
Bro,
most comedians I meet, like Neil Brennan's the homie.
Oh yeah, I love Neil.
And like,
Shout out
and like
Neil.
so me and him have conversations all the time about how like
Yeah.
comedians be depressed and just like I think public intellects in general are depressed.
Yeah, I think that like there's a depression that comes with narcissism, right? Because it's like constant self-reflection,
Okay.
right? And I think that comedians oftentimes can be quite narcissistic.
Okay.
And if you're constantly thinking about how things relate to you and how things, reflect your being and who you are and what things are doing to you, it's very easy to get caught in negative thinking for
Right.
sure. I think don't get me wrong. I love attention. Obviously I do stand up, but like, I think I was very fortunate where like my dad was a very curious dude. So the way that I saw him interact in the world was like, he would always be asking people questions, like wanting to know things, you know what I mean? And, like even that school shooting thing, I was just having dinner with this German dude and I was like, what do you think about school shootings? And then he just offered up this thing. So it's like, I think my curiosity gets me out of my own head and thinking about me. I don't even really like talking about me. I never talked about myself in my stand-up because I was like, why? I don't deserve to yet. Like nobody knows who I am yet. Like now I think I'm at a point where I've maybe earned the right to like talk about the things I'm going through in my life. You know what I mean? Like, but before that, when I see comics that are going up for the first time, they're like, let me tell you how interesting my family is. And it's like, no one gives a fuck about your family. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, what a wild thing to go walk in a room, nobody knows you. You go, can everybody be quiet and let me tell you how awkward dinner is? That is like
That's
next
therapy.
level fucking narcissism.
Yeah, it's
right?
therapy. You're thinking that everybody in the audience, that they want to help you solve your problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So that can be very depressing. And I think that, but I don't, there is this archetype where like a comedian has to be depressed and like the weird things start happening in comedy where like you need to talk about like if you're fucking molested or you know, like you just need to talk about all these fucking horrible things that happen to you, and it's like you got to be funny and we'll listen to that shit. Just being molested isn't enough to be a comedian. Like you also have to be funny about the molestation and then we'll listen. But we got this warped idea where like go through trauma, talk about it, and then it's fun.
Maybe depressed ain't the right. Maybe it's just pessimistic.
No, you're right about depressed.
Okay, cool.
You are right. I think Seinfeld said it best, or Chris Rock said it best when they were like, if ignorance is bliss, being a comedian is the opposite of that. A hyper awareness of kind of what's going on.
I think for a while that comedians got labeled as being bitter too, and maybe some still are. But you mentioned earlier about how it was like you had to know somebody at Comedy Central or one of these networks if you wanted to be the next up and comer. There's a lot of waiting around. I think with social media and the internet making it a much wider net for comedians,
more equitable place.
There's less competition. There's definitely competition.
Still bitter, bro.
Are they still bitter, or is it easier, do you think, to be friends with other comedians?
I think
nowadays
it's easier to be friends with other comedians, especially ones that are starting to see the light and seeing that they can be rewarded for their comedy. Like they put it out there and then something goes viral, and like what a great feeling, like having no traction ever, and then you put out a piece of your comedy and everybody goes, oh my God, this is so funny. It's like what a dream that is for somebody.
Are you rooting for other comedians?
Oh, but that's the thing, I like that, but I don't have that like scarcity mentality.
Got you.
So like literally everything I've done in comedy, I went on a podcast afterwards and I was like, you guys should all do this. Hey, YouTube is great. Put your specials on YouTube. Instagram is awesome. This is why it's going to work. This is how you do it. Any comic that calls me and asks for help, I'm helping them through the whole fucking process. I want as many comics to win. But I also just don't have that mentality where like, I don't think people need to have only one comedian. That doesn't mean I'm not competitive. Like when I'm on the show, I want to be the funniest. You know what I mean? And I want to be pushed. I want there to be people that are better than me so I can go, okay, I got to step it up. But I don't know. I like helping people, and it makes me happy to see people succeed.
What about writing? Do you enjoy writing if it's going to be something where it's not you performing it, like writing for somebody else?
No.
You get no satisfaction out of
Zero.
that? Because you like hearing the audience respond to your joke.
Yeah, I do like, this is writing for me.
Just bullshit, yeah.
This is writing.
You're just getting ideas.
Yes.
Brainstorming.
Let's throw ideas out, chew on it. Like, I want to hear your thing about evolution. I'm like, ooh, maybe there's something funny there. And then where does my mind go take evolution? How do I feel about it? So like these types of environments are the best writing environments. And then you just take that little kernel of humor and then I go on stage and I just see where it goes. But it needs to start with something. But in terms of like writing for a show, no. I like writing for my stuff with guys. Like when I did the Turn Your Phone videos, I don't know if you guys saw those like during the pandemic.
I think that was your takeoff.
Yeah, we had that was good shit.
That was fucking comedy.
That was good shit. And honestly, that's what happened when you have multiple brains, like really great, hilarious people that are just dedicating their whole week to 4 or 5 minutes of comedy. Like we had no shows, couldn't do anything. We just sat in a room and just fucking wrote. We wrote, part of it was boring as hell. We wrote an essay with no jokes and then punched up every line of it.
I would love to be in one of those rooms and see how the ego is. Because I think like me and him, like he was writing a song yesterday, right? And I fancy myself a writer. I write a lot. And so we're going back and forth, and like he wants to go somewhere else with it, and I'm like, it's his thing, so I'm just like, okay, go there with it. But like as a comedian, like, do you view it like this is my baby, or like I was taught young, you can accomplish anything as long as you don't care who gets the credit, and so just throw in and let's evolve this thing. But a lot of people are like, this is my baby, man.
So with us, like me and my guys, right? It's the best idea wins.
Gotcha.
So that's for the podcast. It's for if we were doing the Netflix special, Turn Your Phones. It's like best idea.
Love that.
What's most important to me, or even we're doing like some kind of promotional video, or we're just creating some kind of content we think is kind of funny. Best idea wins. So, because I just don't really have an ego about that shit. And also, like, you shouldn't. If you're the person singing the song, like, you're going to get the credit for this. You just got to make sure it's something that you can be proud of and stand behind. So my feeling is like, once we have the idea that we're doing, right? Like stand-up is different because stand-up, I like to be my own. I like to talk out ideas, but I don't like to collaborate on the special. It has to like be from me and I go, yo, I got this idea about the Autobahn.
Like
Let me riff
like
with
a
you
rapper
on it.
with the bars.
Exactly.
Gotta come from you.
It got to come from me, and
Gotcha.
it's got to be passionate. But if we're just creating anything or making any kind of business decision, there's no ego. The best idea wins. And the best idea can come from the lowest guy or the highest guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think that creates the best product.
I 1,000%.
But it's got to be something you believe in and can stand behind.
Yeah.
So we agree on what we want to do, and now how do we execute it?
I love that.
Yeah.
I got a question that you might not want to answer.
Go.
But I've always, as a comedian, like I've been on Rogan. Yeah, I know him kinda. You know, I think he's a cool cat. Do comedians look at Rogan like a comedian?
So 100% yes.
Okay.
But you have to understand, like, a lot of people found out about this is what happens when you're podcasting. When you're someone who doesn't know comedy, or you're not like a big comedy fan,
Right.
you know the most potent version of someone, and obviously, you know, he has the biggest media platform on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a crazy time in history where like one guy could garner that type of influence.
Yeah.
And but as like a comedy fan, like, just to put things in perspective, you know, Bobby Kelly, amazing comic. You know Bobby Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
So when he was on our pod, he was like, dude, I remember coming up in Boston and seeing Rogan and going, I want to be that guy. So that was the influence that he was having in that space, right? He just happens to be so famous at another thing,
Right.
that some people only get that version.
It
of him.
overshadows it too.
Think about it, of course.
Yeah, because like in the realm of comedians, I think he's an okay comedian, but like,
Right.
as a podcaster, he's one of the most influential podcasters of
Ever.
all time. So it's like hard to parse that apart as a consumer. I think that's what the internet has done more than anything, is it has allowed people to wear different hats.
Yeah.
But still, it's really hard to part that out as a consumer sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to watch Joe do stand up. Like, I tell people you have to go watch Joe do stand up. Joe is underrated at stand up.
Oh, really?
I think what happens sometimes, you become so famous that people are looking for things to pull down.
Okay.
Right? And they can't say shit about the pod.
Yeah.
Because the pod is number one. So they just got to find something where they could pull you down. You got to watch Joe, and like, with everything to lose, with more to lose than most people in history have ever had, still doing the wildest shit.
Gotcha.
He's a comics
The
comic.
wildest shit.
Yeah. I remember he
He
was the dude that called out Carlos Mencia, right?
I remember that. Yeah,
that was very fun. Who do we have on Part of My Take we were talking to? But was it shit? Was it Santino?
Was it Kreischer? Oh, it was Santino.
It might have been Kreischer, but yeah, where Mencia got up on stage and started doing other people's bits, and he'd been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, Ari Shaffer.
Yeah.
And so he was in the audience for that, and I think that just cemented Joe in the hearts of every comedian, just because Carlos Mencia got a fucking special. He got a series on
Joe
Comedy
got banned
Central
for that. Think
Did
about
he
that.
really?
He got banned from the store for that.
The Comedy Store?
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't for years later until he went back. I think people don't realize that. Like, he was the one that got in trouble for that because of how massive Carlos was.
Yeah.
And there was like an altercation at this place. So eventually he goes on and becomes Joe. But yeah, he's that fucking dude.
Have you ever had your joke stolen by somebody?
So look, this is the tricky thing about stolen. And this is the beauty of the internet. You're competing with, I don't ever want to assume stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, comics, because, you know, there's a lot of us are narcissists, are like, I'm the only person that could have ever connected, you know, this thing that happens in sex and what I did. Nobody else in history could have thought about this sexual thing that happened but me. And if they did, they must have stolen it from me. The internet has now exposed that you're a little hot take about Bud Light, or you're a hot take about this. A billion other people are also tweeting something, and 100,000 of them have the same idea.
Right.
So I think we're starting to realize that now. And I think that's why, if you can personalize your jokes, I know literally I said in the beginning, like, I'm not interesting, but there's a way to be personal within your jokes, even if you're talking about other things.
Right. Yeah.
You know who Bill Burr is, even if he's talking about fucking Monica Lewinsky or something. You know, you're getting this aura of him, right? So it's like, I think it's very hard now that we've seen so many people come up with similar ideas for me to go, oh, they got that from me. They must have seen me at the cellar working out. No, maybe they just connected to things. Like, ChatGPT is going to ruin it all. ChatGPT is going to show you how easy it is to just connect two things.
Can a robot be funny though?
Eventually, the robot will be able to replace the late night jokes.
Yeah.
Late night jokes are a math problem.
Yep.
And there's a lot of comedians that are math problem comics, right? And it's just like, it's not like an insult to them. It's just not my favorite
Explain what
thing.
math problem comic is.
Let me think of a joke. I have jokes that I'm sure are math problem. You just basically connecting two things that shouldn't be related and then putting them together.
Okay.
Right? Let me think of a fucking joke in my...
He looked like the...
Here's the joke.
the
This is
wheelchair
fucked
guy.
up, but we're talking about the Autobahn thing, right? The punchline I was thinking for it was it was like these it was the German guy being like we can't do anything anymore, we can't even kill Jews, and then it's like we have to use the gas somehow.
Right.
So it's gas for what they did, this horrible atrocity to Jews, and then driving using gas on the subway. Now, that's just a connection of two things that shouldn't be related,
but
and
that's
they're related.
a witty double entendre that...
Look, there's a lot going on there. It's really funny, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what a computer can do is make those connections and then just kind of like put them near each other. I'm imagining this is what it will be.
Right.
And then it's up to you to kind of blend it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will be the first thing. Late night comedy is just that. Like, what are these two connections about these things? And I think that will be eliminated pretty quickly. And I think comedy will probably get kind of meta. That's usually what happens with comedy. When you can say anything, it just gets weird.
Right.
You know, like when you can't say anything, you get comedy that's a little bit more
Edgy.
thought-provoking and edgy.
Yeah.
And when you can't say anything, you get comedy that's like really funny, but also odd. Like a Zach Galifianakis it's almost kind of making fun of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like comedy, as comedians, we make fun of institutions. Sometimes comedy becomes an institution. So you can make fun of comedy.
Tim Heidecker.
Name sounds familiar. Is there a writer or something?
Yeah, he does like Tim and Eric, the Tim and Eric show. He's
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was with Zach Galifianakis for a while too.
Gotcha.
Actually. I think it was like him, Eric Andre, Zach Galifianakis was involved.
Sure.
But yeah, ChatGPT, the podcast that they put out yesterday
with Joe and
it was Joe and the leader of what was
It was
Altman,
the
I think?
OpenAI CEO who
Yeah.
runs ChatGPT.
That was
Or who
scary
made it.
because it sounds just like him. Now, I don't think that curiosity is one thing that might not be able to be completely copied by a robot either. Like the way that Joe does his interviews, there's a reason why he's the best in the business.
Yeah.
It's because he's so curious and he's got a great intuitive line of questioning that he can go down.
It's unbelievable curiosity matched with unbelievable retention. So that's the thing about Joe that I think he doesn't get enough credit for. Is like, if you tell him something, that's locked in forever.
Mm-hmm.
So anything he reads, anything he watches, everything is just locked. So he can have somebody on talking about metaphysics and he'll remember the last guy he had on talking about metaphysics, and then he can hold a conversation with that guy.
Yeah.
Whereas if I had a guy on talking about metaphysics, I forgot about it 30 minutes after he left. Everything they said.
For sure.
That's
Really?
so nuts just because, like, think about how people learn. Like, Joe may have not been very good academically, but he can learn through conversation way better.
100%.
Like,
But see, that bothers me the most. I think one of the things that bothers me most is when smart people be like, "You do this shit all the time." I'm a dumbass. Like you're not. That gives so much leeway to actual dumbasses to be like, "Yeah, we're all dumbasses." Like, no, fam, we're not. I hate that.
The
shit.
fake humility.
Yeah,
No,
it's
fake
like-
humility is
I-
annoying.
It's not even
Yeah.
fake humility. It's like, or maybe it's unbeknownst to you, but it's like, dog,
you're
you're fucking brilliant.
I just know that I'm
You're a little spectrumy.
I'm
You're a little bit,
aren't we all?
right?
That's why it's called a spectrum.
Wait, what is that?
That's why it's called a spectrum.
What do you
right?
mean?
Like it's a massive thing.
I think he's talking about.
We're like there's some people that
I
have
think you just proved it.
absolutely. I think you just need to learn what a spectrum is.
there's people off the spectrum.
Yeah.
There are people that are off the spectrum
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
It's
they're
not
probably
a,
on another
it's actually not a
spectrum.
spectrum in terms of like you got it more or less. It's just different things that you have.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know enough about it, but that shit was.
to Arian's point,
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I've got a good width of knowledge, but it goes like this deep.
But
you know,
but even
like I can talk to most people about something.
But that in itself isn't.
But do you really like trains?
No, I'm a plane
He
guy.
likes planes.
It's close enough.
Yeah, I thought-
He thinks he can
Complete
fly a plane.
Could you land a plane?
you could.
Could you land a plane?
Yeah.
If the pilot passed out and nobody else could
I
fly.
think I could land a plane.
Yeah. See, that's not.
Yeah.
You might be on this boat too.
Why do you think you can land a plane?
I think I could do most things, to be honest with you.
People do it. Guys
also
land
people
planes.
do it. Yeah. I don't think it's like a crazy thing. Like,
What?
I think I could land a
Guys land
plane
planes.
more than I could do like one of those knots that doesn't ever come undone. Like if somebody was like, "Hey, I need you to tie this rope together so it just doesn't get untied."
Yeah.
Boy Scout knot?
Yeah, like a Boy Scout knot without anybody teaching me, I couldn't do. But land a plane without anybody teaching me, I could.
You got that shit.
Because it's more you just like that.
And there's more pressure.
Also, like air traffic control comes on, they tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah. Lower your speed. Okay.
I've seen pilots; they're not physically impressive all the time.
Has there been
I don't think it's a physical feat.
No, that's what. That's why my dumb brain thinks I could do it. It's like look at this pussy. This pussy lands a plane. Yeah, I can do that.
Can girls land planes?
What?
Yes.
Has there been examples?
Yes, they can land planes.
Oh, Amelia Earhart
No,
would
but in that
beg to
situation,
differ.
because everyone's like, guys think they can land planes.
Helen
Yeah.
Keller.
I mean, that would be wild.
No, Amelia Earhart.
What if that is like? What if for 9/11 they weren't even terrorists? It was just women driving, and then they felt so bad about it. They're like, no, it was the Taliban, bro. It was Al Qaeda or something like that. It definitely wasn't the first 2 female pilots ever that we hired at the company.
Hell no.
An 80-year-old woman took control of a plane and landed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's easy to do.
So they can. So
Yeah.
more women should think they can land
Give
planes.
me the knot.
I'll be honest. Yeah,
I'll take the knot.
I think women could drive, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
It's very brave.
No, my wife drives.
That's a bold.
I go
really? You let her-
passenger.
you
I
let
go
her- you
passenger.
let her drive?
I go passenger. I don't like driving. I like chilling. I like being on my phone.
I wish Tiger Woods would say that.
Same, bro.
This nigga will not get out of cars.
I feel like he's just trying to prove to us he's really Asian. Like, you know how like his whole career he's like, I'm a Pacific Islander, and none of us believe. We're like, nah, you black Tiger, you are black. He's like, all right, see, watch me try to get home. Watch me try to get home. Tell me I'm black. Watch me try to get home this afternoon. Tell me I'm black.
That's just fucking hilarious.
They should let him drive a golf cart. I want to see Tiger Woods in a golf cart.
I don't want to see him behind any wheels, man.
Yeah.
Every bad event that has ever happened to him has involved a car.
Yeah.
Every single one.
With the girl hitting him with the golf clubs. Which
Everything.
Is fucking funny.
Everything. Just stay out of whips, dog.
Yeah.
Get out of him.
I think that's a guy that he should have fucked earlier in his career, because when he was growing up, he was just like all focused on golf. His dad was like, golf all the time. This is the only thing that matters. He gets famous, and all of a sudden he can fuck pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
And he you know what? He just never should have gotten married.
Yeah, he didn't get out the system, man. You got to get out the system.
Yeah, if you grow up being like, okay,
societal pressure,
you're
man.
never going to do it. Like, you're only focused on this one thing. That levee's going to break at some point. Let Tiger fuck again is what I'm saying.
I think he out
I don't
there
think he
now.
stopped, bro.
Yeah,
I think he's
out
getting
there.
that. Did you see the recent girl that he was dating, and then they broke up, and then she sued him for breaking up with him or whatever?
I was so mad at that stuff because I was like, come on, we just got over all the Tiger news, and here you go again. But she was tripping.
She was tripping. It was also fire how he broke up with her.
Oh, it was.
He said, "We're
like-
going on vacation," and then, psych,
Locked her out of the house.
Change the locks on the dog. That's like some.
that is legendary.
That's like some. Oh, you don't want to get out? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. But that shows you Tiger's not like the square that he's portrayed to be. Like,
He's a savage.
yeah,
bro.
he got a little dog, a lot of dog.
The
in him.
text messages were something else. Yeah.
Now, what do you say in the text message? I didn't see that.
I don't think he had a game. I don't think he had a mouthpiece or a game like that. But
Oh, he was firing off the text. You can look him up. I think. Ah, shit. I'm gonna look up his text right because I want to read these out loud. Actually, Billy,
Yeah, I got it.
ask a question.
Her name is Billy.
No,
Billy.
I'm asking
Oh, you're
Billy.
Billy. My
that's
bad.
Billy.
Sorry.
Billy, ask a question while I look these up.
Do you get annoyed when people ask you about Rogan all the time?
No. Honestly,
It's like-
not at all.
I just always see, like, I don't know, you guys all. I'm a huge Rogan fan, so like when I'm doing show prep, I try to like make sure like, okay, don't make it all Rogan questions.
yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
like, they probably get so much, but
No, I mean, like, I'm very fortunate to have close proximity to, one of the most fascinating people in history. So
Yeah.
I can imagine somebody is curious about that and they want to know those things.
yeah,
So yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Like, he's dedicated himself to like 3 things, and they were all the biggest. He's like, I think I'll act, and then it's the big show. The show is huge.
yeah.
And then he goes, I think I'll be a UFC commentator, or 4 things, and then it's just the biggest sport in fight sports.
he has a big part in growing it
Huge.
too. Yeah.
Bro, think about it. When he's at an arena calling the game, he's the most famous person at the arena. He's more famous than the fighters that are headlining the card because he's performing at the same arena without them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then he does stand up, the highest level, and then he does podcasting at the highest level. It's like it's not, what doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah.
I'm reading the text right now. They're actually not that bad. I want to treat you rough, throw you around, spank and slap you. You're my fucking whore. Hold you down while I choke you. Then I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up while I slap your face.
What you think about that choking shit? You like that?
I mean, I'm a choker.
You like a choker?
Well, if she's into it. I don't just be going around choking.
Strangler.
That choking shit is wild, bro. I like. Yeah. It's wild when like your girl's into it.
I've had, I've been fortunate enough to be okay in the lady department.
Yeah.
More often than not, women like being choked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it like a lot more women like being choked than not.
They ask for it.
All anecdotal. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Like, it's rough. They like, I think that's, women like feeling like women and like to be in bed. They like being dominated. Yeah. Which led me to explore I want to get dominated a couple times.
Oh, did you get dominated?
I have been dominated.
How? But that's some fake humble shit.
Yeah, because dude, you're
like
all-pro NFL running back. You're like, you threw me down.
Dominate you.
Well, I mean, no,
good tackle.
She's not fucking, You don't got me in a headlock, bro. What
does she do?
Is it Sean Merriman?
It's like I'm gonna get you the deets, man. Calm down. I got you, dog. No, it's like a submissive thing. And so, I mean, this is pretty recent, actually. I found out, like, there's a certain element of sexual attraction I get to being submissive to somebody.
Yeah.
And obviously, it don't go past the bedroom, right? I'm not going to go make her a sandwich after we're done.
Yeah.
But it's like...
It's fucked up.
You tell her, King.
No, I mean,
this shit stops at the bedroom door.
Listen, I'll be submissive to you for as long as you're sucking my dick.
That's facts though. I think.
So what do they tell you to do? Like what? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Man, all right, man.
Chores or anything like that?
It's not weird. Well, it can get weird. It's just like whatever she desires. Like she'll be like, talk to me like this, say this, do this. And
are you married?
No.
Okay, I see why that you might find that like a fun thing to try on.
Well, I'm not saying do this with somebody you've been with since elementary school. Like, that's probably all right, bro. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like on a one-off when you with somebody and you kind of explore. I think that's what I've recently found out.
Yeah.
It's like exploring your sexuality with somebody else who's exploring their sexuality is fire.
Yeah, but what happens if you find some shit that you don't want to keep doing, but they want to do it?
In the spirit of the session that we've created, I'll do it. But afterwards, I'm
cuckolding. You would watch someone fuck the girl.
I'm not into other dudes being in there. But I mean, I've been a part of, well, you ran a train before.
Yeah,
so
but that's just. But the train thing.
I don't know
like,
that I like this conversation.
No. The train thing I think is interesting because I think the train thing is more just like the girl. This is gonna sound really feminist. No. It's like the girl's kind of like not hot enough for like the solo session, right? Isn't that the real trend? Like,
yeah,
because people make that stupid joke they've been making for years, like, well, 2 5s equal 10. And it's just like, no, that's not what it's the opposite. It's the 5 shared by 2 guys. It's just funny.
Have you ever had a deep sexual conversation with another woman?
What do you mean by that?
So like getting into like her desires and why she desires what she desires, like where it comes from.
Fuck no.
It's a fascinating psychology.
I can imagine that.
And so it's not like it's not like they like women's, what I can't speak for every single woman, but like the experiences that I've had is like they have a specific reason as to why they desire what they would desire, and sometimes they haven't explored it. And when you open up that can, then they enjoy that conversation as well. And I think if you want to be good in bed in general, your goal should be pleasuring your partner. But how you gonna know what they like if you don't actually talk about it? A lot of dudes out here doing shit that they seen, read, or heard, and it's the exact opposite of what your lady likes. I know some women like it fast, some women like it, so whatever the case may be.
and you're just guessing. So I took the guessing. I'm like, what do you like?
Yeah.
And when you do that, you learn about yourself, you learn about them, and it just makes it
you
more
gotta check that
enjoyable.
ego too, man, because she might
100%.
say the thing that you're doing that you thought you were good at.
That's exactly what I
trash.
don't, because you're gonna be in the group chat afterwards if you ain't doing a good job. So I'm like, we might as well talk about this. Tell me what you like and let me execute.
Yeah.
And tell me in the middle. Like, go not like that. I'm like, all right, how I do it?
But I don't want too many adjustments.
I do.
No.
Maybe after the fact. No. Like work on this for next time.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm a
in the heat of the
comedian.
moment.
Like I like the audience being like into it.
Well, she's not gonna be into it if you fucking up. If your jokes ain't landing.
Yeah, but like she could fake it. Or, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. And then now you in the group chat. That's what I'm saying. I eliminate that.
No. I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a very vulnerable. I think you're right. It's a really vulnerable thing to do because you're getting your masculinity and manhood completely shredded if it's not done right. But at the same time, it is really important. I mean, like,
But nah, I mean,
I don't know. I feel
Well, I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like she's demasculating.
No, she's not doing that on purpose. But
Demasculating.
sometimes you might react and feel that way.
Yeah, I mean that's happening.
It's just your own
before.
insecurity, not you personally,
Yeah.
but one's own insecurity
Yeah.
could be projected.
Yeah,
like that's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But then, to me, that was just a learning experience for myself. To me, like, where does that come from? Like, where is that? Why do I feel insecure about this?
Yeah,
it's a very enlightening, and sex is one of the most, I don't know, important topics as humans. Is how we continue to survive. So,
bro, and even in a relationship, it's like there's this weird thing that happens. Like if my wife and I go too long without having sex, we're more rude to one another.
Yeah, man.
Like we're off, we're snappy, and we recognize it. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where. Now it sounds whack to like be like, oh, we have to schedule it. But it's like we understand how important it is to our emotional well-being to make sure that there is that intimacy, and we have to water that constantly because it does fuck you up.
We had a podcast yesterday with where we talked about the history of Japan, and one of the dudes that works here named Large, he's a super sharp cat, and he was talking about how they have this white glove service in Japan, where it's like people who are like a paraplegic, like they'll come and they'll give them hand jobs just to get that out of them, and that's fine to me because that's like it's servicing like a natural part of humanity, which is like you want to be sexual. We're all sexual human beings. So let's talk about this shit.
But on the other side of that, Japan has the lowest birth rate, I think, the world.
You think those?
I think that's a good thing.
The paraplegics should be
no,
cream pie,
but like
there should be a white cream pie service.
Not just the paraplegics are using that service.
That's a cultural function, I think.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys been to Japan before?
Yeah,
actually no.
Okay, so like, it's the least sexual place you'll ever go in your entire life. There is absolutely no romance. There is absolutely no love. It's the most loveless culture I've ever been in my entire life. It is also the best. You will have the best of almost everything that you try there. Meaning, I had the best pizza I've ever had in Japan, the best steak I've ever had in Japan, the best fucking, what do they call the fried stuff? Tempura, you know, like I mean,
got good whiskey there too,
dude. The whiskey, anything they do, they perfect. Bro, because they're so. One guy said it to me. He's like, when you don't have a monotheistic religion, when you see God in everything, you treat everything with the reverence and respect of God. So if there's a God of soup making, you're like, yo, I got to make this soup right. Because there's a God in there that I gotta respect. We got Jesus over here. He don't care about soup.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's just like somebody's auntie is nice at making it. That's it. So the culture is fascinating in some regards, but in terms of interpersonal relationships, like even like the way women dress and behave, they're not sexy. They're cute. It's infantile. Like they're like, hi, how you doing? Look at me. I'm a tiny little girl. It's the most odd thing. Yeah. And I can see why that would lead to a society that is not.
A lot of times in Asian cultures, you can attest to this because you spend a lot of time in China, or you know about the Chinese culture. Right?
Yeah, my dad did.
A lot of Asian women are they take a back seat in their familial roles, and so they don't speak up. They're not like, they don't own themselves, own themselves, but they don't like own their role in well, they do own their role, and their role is like you're in the back seat, and that's my experience.
Do you think they feel safer in the back seat because like if they were in the passenger seat they'd fly through the windshield? when they inevitably ran into a wall out of nowhere? Do you think do you think that's why?
Maybe Tiger should take a back seat.
That's perfect. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on the podcast. This
Yeah.
flew by. This hour's fastest hour.
We have fun, man.
Where
This
can the
is
people
great.
see you? Where do we plug it? You're gonna go on tour
check out
soon, or-
Flagrant. Check out Brilliant Idiots. So I do a podcast with my boy Akash and Mark Gagnon and Alex Media, and that's Flagrant. And then I do a podcast with the great and brilliant Charlemagne the God called Brilliant Idiots. So yeah.
He's
Check
got
those
some
out.
wild takes.
Bro, he's the
I love
king,
Charlemagne,
bro.
yeah.
He's the king, dude. That is, you want hot takes on demand. Like, that guy could do stand up. One of these days, I'm gonna get him on stage.
All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, man.
Cheers,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank you.
my man.
Thanks. That was fun.
All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that conversation. Funny dude, man. I love that conversation with him. I feel like we could have talked to him for longer, but PFT cut it short.
I don't know why he always does that.
We wanted him. I think somebody else they had to interview something for PMT, but because he didn't look like he wanted to go. Honestly.
Yeah,
he was
I
like
feel
digging.
bad.
He was like digging. Nah, it's cool though. I'm sure we can have him back, man. He really cool, really down to earth dude. I think he's very talented, man. So if that's it, man, I think that wraps up the Nanodosing for the day. If anybody else got anything else, y'all good? All right, great show, man. When we get back, PFT will be in studio. I'll still be remote. And we're gonna have a good episode lined up for y'all. Appreciate you. Love you. Y'all take care. Subscribe on YouTube. Like, comment, all that shit. Helps everybody, man.
Another great
Much love.
guest on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, legendary guest. Legendary.